What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. Also looking at the current coin market cap price analysis article, as well as going a little more in depth into XRP, also known as Ripple. So I'm kind of switching things up. I want to test some grounds. I want to see how many people are interested or are, somewhat confused with XRP trading, and I did want to discuss that in today's video. Now, I do have a bunch of information I do want to go over with you. It is regular technical analysis, but we'll spend a little bit more extra time on XRP. So if you guys are still into Litecoin, I will still be making videos on Litecoin, and we'll still go into Litecoin in today's episode. Otherwise, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Giveaway will be at 12,000 subscribers, so make sure to smash that subscribe button. Otherwise, let's jump into today's video. So before we jump into the article, I want to discuss with you guys the current coin market cap. So market cap is 262 bill, 24-hour volume is 52 billion, and Bitcoin dominance is 68.4%. So markets are retracing. Volume is about where it was and where it has been for the past couple of days. We're starting to see a little more volume increase as the market starts to tinker downwards. Now you see out of the top 10 cryptos, everything is in red. Everything is down about 2 to 3% in today's market, and as I scroll down, majority of that is reflected over the smaller altcoins, so nothing really too out of the blue, I would say. Everything looks fairly the same. Now, what I do want to discuss with you is the small downtrend that we are starting to see within the market right now, and I do want to show you how that pans out actually on the charts, and whether or not this is a bad or a normal thing, honestly. So there's a couple of things I do want to discuss with you. The first thing I want to do is go over this price analysis here that Cointelegraph written out. So you can see on this article, there's a couple of things. I just want to scroll down to XRP first. So when I break down, let me start off with saying XRP seems to be a huge community within crypto. A lot of people have a ton of positive things on XRP as well as Litecoin. There's two major communities around both of those. Bitcoin, not so much. It's kind of like everybody is involved in Bitcoin. So I don't want to really focus in on Bitcoin in today's video, but XRP is definitely here. It's unfortunate that the coin has dropped to an extremely low levels in the past couple of months, so that kind of puts a huge burn on the community. So I would like to know what you guys think about that as well, because the same thing is happening with Litecoin. I want to know if there's a lot of FUD around XRP too, so definitely let me know your opinions on that in the comments below. But it says, when a breakdown of critical levels fail to pick up momentum, it shows a lack of sellers at lower levels, the increase of probability of a pullback catching many bears off guard, the failure bears capitalize on the breakdown, yada yada yada. That's what we're seeing. Aggressive traders can buy on close above the 20-day EMA and keep up the stop loss. On the upside, there might be a minor resistance at the 50-day SMA, but we expect it to be crossed. So I feel like that's confusing for a majority of people. I kind of just wanted to understand and see their charts and what they picture on here. So right now, all we're seeing is resistance of this EMA right now. We're seeing a ton of downwards pressure on the EMA, pushing tons of these cryptos, or tons of prices or price rejections to lower levels. So every time we come back to try to break through, it gets rejected and we end up pulling back to lower levels. And I do want to look at their opinion on Litecoin as well and understand that, because right now all I'm seeing is all the charts look fairly the same. We're all below the EMA, we're all getting rejected, a lot of downwards pressure pushing the price to lower levels, which is quite unfortunate. Same thing with Binance Coin. You can see these three circles right here. Everything is below the EMA, so everything is very stressed and undervalued, and that's kind of what I wanted to look at. I'll give you guys another example that isn't my technical analysis. So moving on to let's start with Bitcoin, then we'll jump into XRP. So Bitcoin was a coin we were tracing for quite some time now, probably over a year and a half. And what I'm noticing right now is there is an upwards trend. And I'm planning on making a video away from the charts to really discuss with you guys my opinions and feelings on the market, where we're headed, and the future outlook of crypto and what's at stake. So I do think that will be a very interesting video for you guys. I would like to share my opinion with you. But until then, I would like to show you guys this uptrend right here. You can see there's a couple supports, and now we're having some issues in this zone right here. So I did see a small downtrend, a small descending triangle, which is putting a lot of pressure on the price, and it seems like it's pushing it and wedging it in between a couple areas of support. So the one thing that we did talk about in the couple of videos, or yesterday's video too, is that we got enough support to bring us above our uptrend, which is great, honestly. A ton of resistance downwards, and you're seeing it's problematic right here. We're having problems right here, and it's pushing this coin to lower levels. And unfortunately, we did break below our uptrend, which I was holding on to for quite some time now and saying was very important. So what I want to explain with that is the fact that this doesn't mean it is over yet. This is just the beginning. And what I want to explain to you guys is the fact that we can wick up through this. Just because this resistance is here doesn't mean we will close today's candle below the uptrend right now. So I want to be optimistic, and I want to see how this pans out. If indeed we do break below here, once again, I don't think it is any worry. I do know that we have a high-low middle moving average, green and red band support, 15-day, I think it is the 35 and 100-day moving averages. So you can see how these are going to help push the price back up into the ascending triangle. If this key support gets broken, then I would anticipate some major retracement to lower levels, honestly pushing the rest of the market down with it, which would be quite a shock for a lot of people. So I really need to see how this pans out today, if we can consolidate back up, close above here, or if we're going to break below this support and fall to an extremely low level. Now to jump into XRP, a coin that we have not discussed on the channel for quite some time now. I know there are a ton of people that are involved in XRP, want to hear about it, and quite frankly are confused and don't know what to expect with XRP. So yesterday we graphed XRP, or I might have, I don't know, but we discussed that there was a downtrend and a support right here. So it looks to me like there is an ascending wedge forming with tons of resistance up top here, where we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 confirmations, as well as the support with 1, 2, 3, 4 confirmations. So these lines are here to stay. They're very strong. A lot of upwards pressure when we test support, a lot of downwards pressure when we test the resistance. And it seems like it's funneling down into a lower level. Now, I'm not really seeing much of a support down to these levels. I'm not really seeing the price fall to these levels in the past. It's been quite some time now since we've retested this. You can see as I zoom back to pretty much the start in 2017 of XRP or Ripple on Bitfinex that there isn't much support down here. It's actually much lower than we anticipated, so it's right around here where we're seeing these supports, which are a little bit lower, but we're seeing resistance, support, and resistance here. So with that line being drawn, you can see how this kind of does map out the end of this uptrend, which could signify that this might be the end of the downtrend for XRP. And I'd love to know what you guys think about that. So what I'm anticipating is price movement, potentially lower levels down to here, and then we could see that rift. But how the market is trading out right now is we're in a bear market. It's known. There were a lot of tests to show that we might be coming out of that, mainly with Bitcoin to show that we finally started to correct upwards even here. But with XRP, it looks to me like that was foreshadowing the end of XRP's bearish downtrend. And what I mean by that is that all these coins are undervalued. Everything seems to be below its, high-low minimum moving average. This is below it. Litecoin is below it. If this loads in, let's see what else we have. We have, I believe, Bitcoin is below it as well. No, Bitcoin is right on top. Very interesting. But Ethereum is also below it as well. So majority of the cryptos besides Bitcoin are below their high-low MMA, indicating that there needs to be some support to drive up the market. There needs to be volume coming to drive up the market. We are undervalued. These are great buying opportunities, and just because a lot of people are getting kind of sick or tired of the markets does not mean that there aren't people that are waiting and anticipating moves to buy in. And I know a lot of you guys are with that as well. So it seems like to me that the market is just waiting for a trigger. Once we get that trigger, we're going to see a ton of upwards volume and a ton of FOMO buying in. That's how it's been playing out with the past last couple of times. Leading up to the halving, we saw buying the rumor, selling the news. So everybody's there and they're waiting. We shot up to $140 in anticipation for the Litecoin halving. Unfortunately, we sold off after and we fell to lower levels. And it seems like that's kind of the take with the rest of the market. So the market is very volatile. And I would like to explain in another video how everybody is kind of interconnected and waiting for the right moment to be buying in. And it will most indefinitely trigger a market to move all the way back up to its high-low MMA. So I do anticipate a 34-cent XRP indefinitely within the next couple of weeks easily, because of the fact that this is so undervalued and so almost even near oversold. Now to jump into Litecoin, and we'll wrap up today's episode because I know you guys are impatient and I don't want these videos to go too long. You can see with with Litecoin, we are once again undervalued below the high-low MMA, and you can see that we are finding a support down here. There is an descending wedge on here. We have bottom support right here, and it's starting to put pressure on the price, and it's trying to push it up. So if we can even consolidate out, trade sideways, or start to break up the uptrend and start to head up to higher levels, or break the downtrend and head up to higher levels, we should once again see confirmation of a price of Litecoin from the $72 are at all the way up to around $90 to $100 very quickly, very easily. As for Ethereum, very similar, following its uptrend in a descending wedge similar to XRP. This uptrend is holding great, tremendous support, and it seems like I'm using Ethereum's chart to base most of my knowledge off the other cryptos as to where they're going to go, because Ethereum doesn't seem to break any resistances. So it seems like it's coming right back down to a very key vital support, and then it could start to head right back up. Once again, seeing price at 188, could jump anywhere between 225 and 240. But otherwise, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.